Hello, and there I am. Welcome to today's stream. I am Sanish VTuber, named right there above me, and I'm your elder millennial fox boy, ancient by some standard streamer, here to have a drawing and chatting session. Now, I will start off today's stream by confessing something. I may or may not have made the schedule on Monday, and on Monday I said to myself, Sanish, you should prepare for Friday. You should open up this drawing book you got from the library. You should go through some of the lessons, and you should use that to plot out what you are going to draw on stream on Friday. Now, you may be thinking that lead-in is awfully telling with a lot of flags in it, and you would be entirely correct, for I did none of that. In fact, I did not realize I had nothing prepped until circa 1 hour ago. So we are here now. We are prepped to some degree. However, I might admit drawing may be on the light side to none side. I will, however, use my little iPad here to doodle. Oh, that's not what I want to doodle. Sketch brush. iPad here to doodle. I will be sharing my screen or some windows to go over my recent trip to Japan that got canceled. Stop. Ripperoonie, etc. Skull emoji, blah, blah, blah. And I'll be showing my planning process, what I was going to do, my thought process behind some of the travel itinerary, how I organized it, and also, now that it's canceled, how I'm going to adjust it for the future. Now, to start off this stream, what I did before, we're going to put a now serving. Today is a 2022 Rodney Strong Sonoma Cabernet. The problem with having a little wine on stream is I often am scheduling these things at 4 p.m., which is a wee bit early today. So I made sure to get myself a snack before stream so I did not get completely blasted within 15 minutes of stream and feel shitty for the rest of the night. Because I am an adult and I am no longer on 5 medications, so I can have alcohol again. Hooray, hooray. That's how I cope with the existential terrors of life and the world. So what do I want to talk about today? What do we want to talk about today? So first thing I want to talk about is being sick, and then Japan. And then we're going to throw in some other topics here as they come up. I got a recent cosplay I want to talk about. I got talk about friendship observations and processing and life. D&D campaign I'm planning and evolution and how that's going along. That's the main topics. That was the main topics. Draw? Question mark. Here, let me draw. There. One quick drawing. Huh. Little fox there we go. Part of it is like, I really want to draw and use my new 2.0 model as a reference. But it is not ready. It's not ready. The last communication I had from the art studio was 34 days ago, which is fine. They're in the rigging phase. They've been in the rigging phase for 34 days. I just keep checking in the off chance of maybe this website that always sends me an email when I get a message from an artist. Maybe this time the email failed to send. So I should just go check manually to make sure it's not ready. The guaranteed delivery is December 21st, which is, I admit, 1 full month away. And as someone who frequently doesn't deliver their work early, I get it. I understand. I understand deep in my core, but my heart of hearts is like, but I want it now. I want it now. So let's start by now that we're through it. We're going to talk a little bit about getting sick. I don't recommend it. If you can avoid getting sick, I recommend it. It's not pleasant. In my case, what happened was I left my house and I interacted with the world. I got a pretty bad head cold, and this is a head cold I've known has been going around because I've heard some other friends have gotten it. Some coworkers have had their friends get it, and in other parts of the greater Pacific Northwest. And it started off as a head cold, which I'm like, it's been a while, but okay, I'll take a head cold. And that head cold turned into a ear infection. Fun. And that ear infection blew out my eardrum. Ha ha ha. Oh. So imagine here's my head. Boop, boop. See this drawing? I come down. Got my little chinny chin here. Got my hair. Got my eyes. Little smirk. So my left eardrum over here, it ruptured, which if you've never had it happen, this is the third time it's happened in my life. So this has been a recurring design flaw in my left ear. I can't really hear out of that ear anymore, which is not great. The doctor did say it's going to heal back, thankfully. But it's that healing is gone. I was on like 4 or 5 different medicines, including ear drops for like a week, two there. Now for the next like 3 weeks, I have to like live with a cotton ball in my ear to make sure no like dirt or debris gets in, because something an adult who's been here for a while, I did not think about, is one feature of your eardrum is it prevents things and stuff from getting into your ear. And so if it is gone in some capacity or shredded or broken, debris, dust, pollutants and things can just go into your ear, can just float right on in. And that is not good. Not good. So I live with a cotton ball in my ear, and it's generally fine, except for 2 parts. One, it falls out all the time and I don't quite notice it. And so I've been finding like rogue cotton balls scattered about my home. Notably, the big one is like, I went to do laundry today and there was like 3 of them just in my bed. I'm just like, not the worst thing to find, but it's still kind of weird. The other worst thing is you absolutely cannot get water into your ear. Now, I'm not sure about other people here, but I do take showers and bathe myself. And part of that involves water. And to prevent water from getting into your ear, what the doctors told me, and they were pretty emphatic, like this is the way to do it, is I need to take a cotton ball, and then just like absolutely slather the outside in Vaseline, and then shove it in my ear, which none of this whole process is a sensory experience that I enjoy. Putting Vaseline on a cotton ball, 3 out of 10 experience. Subsequently, putting that into your ear, 3 out of 10 experience. Now, could it be a 1 out of 10? Certainly. It's not painful. It's just gross, and it's kind of cold. It's kind of cold when you put it in your ear, and I'm not into that. So, missing my ear, it's fine. It's fine. I'm definitely not playing a third-person shooter game with a lot of directional audio that maybe having both ears would be useful for. But it's working out okay. I've hit a point where it's okay. But the long part of this, the reason why I bring all of this up is because right now I'm supposed to be in Japan. I was supposed to not stream for 3 weeks. I had a 22-day trip to Japan planned. And instead, I got to cancel the whole thing. I definitely didn't get 2 emails this morning about events I missed. I'm like, here are your tickets for the events tonight. And I'm just like, oh, I'm sorry, Team Labs. I can't make it. They're like, oh, sorry, no refunds. I'm just like, my money. So I was supposed to be in Kyoto today. You may not believe this, but I'm currently in Seattle, Washington, which is not Kyoto. Haha. It's a bit of a bummer. But on the bright side, I 100% would have either been miserable. Oh, I definitely, like for the first 4 or 5 days there, when I was loaded with like 3 different types of, or I had 5 prescriptions, 5 different medicines. That would not have been a pleasant plane trip, not pleasant first week in Tokyo, not pleasant Shinkansen ride. Like all of that would have been very, very unpleasant. At the stage I am right now, I probably would have been just starting to get okay. But some of the activities I had planned were on the for sure, definitely don't do this list of my doctor. And they're like, don't ride a motorcycle, don't ride a scooter, don't go anything that has wind blowing by your ear. I definitely had a 2-day bike ride planned. And that is right out, just right out. So being sick, I don't like it. I don't like it. That's why I don't go outside. That's why I stay inside where it is nice and safe. I just realized I've done this before. Make sure my audio's all working. I am actually live on thingies. Okay, yeah, I'm just double checking because I've definitely made that mistake before. So, not pleasant one bit. But what it does mean is I can do what my last on November 7th. So this was like before I got sick and before I was going to Japan. I talked briefly about what my planning document looked like for Japan and I sketched this out. But now that I'm no longer going, I can talk about it in more detail. And by that, I mean, brace your butts, we're opening some spreadsheets. So I have 2 tabs here and I'm hoping that I set this up correctly. And I'm hoping beyond hope that Microsoft Excel does not dox me by showing my full government name, and that Google does the same. Because I'll be looking at Google Maps, and we're going to be looking at Excel. And into the mind of madness, how does a fox boy organize a 3-week trip to Japan over the course of a year? So I think, let's see, first window capture, OBS, don't betray me. Okay, mild try. So this is a map of Japan for those who are not familiar with the country of. So if I move it, okay, I can move this. There we go. See my little mouse. So I don't have my pins on here, but I'm just going to go do a quick overview of what my trip looked like. So my trip to Japan was explore Blackpink tour cities with Pegman. Interesting, but no. Oh my God. So the problem with this is like my mouse is on 2 parts of my screen. So I thought it was, anyway, that's a personal problem. So here's Tokyo. So previous trips to Japan, I have stayed in Ueno. I've stayed up here, and well, not Ueno. Actually, technically, it was it's not Minami. It was, where did I stay? It was Iriya Station. It was kind of like in this neighborhood, and that location was. It was okay. It was okay location. I've stayed in Shinjuku before. I stayed in kind of like this neighborhood up here. I think like right. There was like a school here. Yeah. I stayed here before. Which like location wise, it looks central, but it's like a 15-minute walk to a train station, metro station. Not good. Do not, if you're staying in Tokyo or anywhere with a really, really good public transit, get as close to your main station as you can. But what it did have is it had a full-size grocery store supermarket, like we think of it in the United States. And that was 10 out of 10 fantastic to have next door. Because when I was staying here, I was sick. Don't recommend it. So this trip, I was going to fly in. Airplane. Where's Narita? Narita's like over here somewhere. Narita. I flew into Narita. I would fly into Narita Airport. Little plane in. Take the train to Shinjuku. This is my initial plan. And then I was staying at dead center in Shinjuku. There's like Hotel the Godzilla on it. I was staying on that one time. But I was just doing 2 days. I was doing 2 days in Tokyo to recover. So I was doing Shinjuku. Now, I'm not a party person. I'm not a late night entertainment person. So you could say, Sanish, why are you staying in Shinjuku of all places? What I do love is I love night photography. And I found night photography in Shinjuku area to be fantastic. Like the lights in the main streets with the like rain or sunshine, like night, wonderful. The Golden Guy area over here, Golden Guy area, fantastic for night photos. This whole area is great for night photos. Now, the Metroidvania Dark Souls level of Shinjuku Station, not bad, not bad. So I was gonna stay here for 2 days, recover, land, get my feet under me, and then I was going to Shinkansen down. Oh no, I was gonna take a bus. That's right. I was gonna go to Fujikawa Kuchiko, which is the main city or main like destination area across from Mount Fuji. So Mount Fuji is here. Mount Fuji-san. So I was going to stay over here, do some night tours, do some night walks around, like illuminated fall foliage. I was going to enjoy that, and then I was going to, from there, go to Kyoto. Kyoto. Now, I've been in Kyoto before. I was going to spend 5 days in Kyoto, 4 days. We'll go over the entire in a second. This is a broad stroke overview. I was going to go to Kyoto for 4 or 5 days, and I was going to stay. Where was I going to stay? I was going to stay in this area, Nakano Ocho, because it had like a lot of restaurants, kind of centrally located. Big fan, centrally located. And I was going to go to like Komimizu-dera. I was going to go to what I really wanted to do in Kyoto. One, I really like Kyoto. I love all the temples. I love the environment. The main reason I wanted to go was I really, really wanted to do night photography at Fushimi Inari. Because I read that it's open 24/7, which is kind of cool. And the advice I read for photography is arrive at sunset. And so as you're walking up to the top, you have sunset, golden hour type colors. And once you're at the top, it's a pitch black night, and you get sweet night photography as the only person there. So I was super stoked for that. Super stoked. Sob, alas, next time. Another thing I was doing around Kyoto, I was going to have a rest day, which is essentially just a throwaway day where you just like bed rot in your hotel, eat konbini food, and do laundry. And then from Kyoto, I was going to have the tent pole of my trip, which was the Shimamani Kaido, which is a bike ride from Onomichi, featured here, across the Setsusi. I'm butchering the names here. So it's a bike ride from 70-kilometer bike ride from here across all these islands on this freeway over to Imabari. So it's going to be like, so you're biking across like these bridge. I didn't want to be on the kayak. So you're biking, here's the bike path right here. You're biking across these bridges, across this inland sea of Japan, like going between all these islands, and like you could like go off the route and just like go down these cool roads and kind of explore. And you take like 2 days to do it. And you have like a little e-bike and you're just like humming along. Oh man, it was going to be super cool. I still want to do it. Why did my music stop? Did my internet die? No. Pause. Anyway. Cancel that. I was going to go there. From Imabari, I was going to go to Matsuyama. Yatsumaya has Dogo Onsen, which has the, was inspiration for Spirited Away. You're still live? Oh, thank God. From Matsuyama, I was going to have a recovery day there because I just did a 2-day bike ride. I was really nervous about this. I was going to have to do luggage forwarding from Onomichi to Matsuyama and hope my luggage, including my laptop, all arrived safe. Then I was going to get on a ferry and do a 2-hour ferry ride to Hiroshima. I've always wanted to go to Hiroshima. Spend a couple days in Hiroshima, see some of the historic sites, go to the castle and do an archery lesson, go to the atomic bomb memorial, because I think that's pretty fascinating and also an important piece of our history, especially those of us on the West Coast. And those of us who got physics degrees where we talked about this from a different perspective. And then go to Miyajima. Where's Miyajima? Miyajima is Actually, I don't know where Miyajima is. Miyajima Island. Should be like, oh, it's right here. Which is like a cute little town. I swear to God, Google Maps, I'm going to murder you. It's like this little picturesque seaside town. That's very like, I don't know, it's supposed to be really nice. But the recommendation is everyone goes for half a day. So everyone goes in for, they take the ferry in, they explore it for the day, then go home. And every single person and review I read was like, this was the highlight of their trip. And they're like, stay the night. Because if you stay the night, then you're here after all the tourists leave. So it quiets down, empties out a bit, and you get like a nice quiet morning. And it's supposed to have like fall colors, and it's supposed to like, this is the Santa School map tour where you're supposed to go. So it was really nice. So I was supposed to do that. And then from there, I was going to then take the old Shinkansen all the way back to Tokyo for the last 4 days in Tokyo, which are just like sensory explosions, shopping, going Christmas markets and some flea markets, more shopping, going to Akihabara and looking at the used anime figures and being like, oh, I don't know if I should buy this or not. And then being like, no, I should go to Nakano Broadway instead, go to Nakano Broadway and look at their used figures and being like, is this really a deal? And like, you're trying to Google, like, what are the prices of these figurines if you bought them in the US? And then you're like, oh no, it's not loading the American sites or giving me the American prices of eBay. And you're just like, oh, it's like it's 30,000 yen. You're like, what is 30,000 yen? Is that worth it? And you think about your luggage size and the baggage fees. And I've done this before. I've gone through this before. And then you end up buying a shit ton of figurines and going home with a luggage full of plastic figures. And then when they ask you, how much gifts did you buy in Japan in your trip? And you're just like, nothing. I brought these with me. And you lie to customs officers and you hope you don't get caught because you are a middle-aged white man and you're let through fine. Hypothetically, purely hypothetically, that would never happen to anybody here. No. Haha. So that's kind of the bare bones outline of my trip. So that's what it's like on a map. Now, other things I considered for this particular trip, because the whole point is look at fall colors, take photographs, enjoy myself, not do the things I know I don't enjoy anymore. One thing I really wanted to do, off of Wakayama, so Wakayama here, there is an island. Where is it? Where's the island? There's an island here. Is it this one? No, it's one of these. One of these tiny islands has a old abandoned military base that was the inspiration for, I think, Castle in the Sky. And you can go tour this like abandoned brick, kind of like overgrown bunker-esque island. But it requires the only boat ferry to get there is out of Wakayama. And from where I was staying, it would be like a full day trip of like 8 hours of transit to get there. And I'm just like, oh, I don't know. But then you're just like, it looks super cool. Perhaps next time. If I was going to Osaka, Nara area, I would do it. If I was going back to Koyasan, I would do it because Koyasan's over here somewhere. Where's Koyasan? Like, the problem is I'm a creature, like, I know this about myself, Koyasan. I'm deeply a creature of habit. So if I do something or go somewhere and I know I like it, I'm way more predisposed to do it again than I am to explore new things. And so that's part of like this trip and many of my trips to Japan of just like balancing out doing the things I know I like and doing them again versus new experiences, which is why part of me always wants to like convince friends to go. Because then you can use that as an excuse to redo the things you like and you're not like, oh, I'm just revisiting the same places in Tokyo and Kyoto I liked, haha. But if you're showing new friends, then you're like, oh, I'm taking my friends to these cool places. All of a sudden, it's socially acceptable to yourself and the voice in your head that judges you for what you do. So that's going to be a takeaway learning. I should put that on my list here. We're going to put that on my list. Turn this off for a second. Takeaways. Takeaway lessons. Okay, we'll get to that part. This is my reflective. Now that I'm sick and can't do this, and part of this, like as I was sick, and I was sitting in bed. As I was sick, I'm not sure I was supposed to draw there. I was supposed to circle. As I was sick, sitting in bed, debating to myself in the shower, to my friends, to myself, if I could make this trip. Part of me was considering and thinking about, did I plan it correctly and what would I change? Like by canceling it, I in some way gave myself like, because if you're sick and you're debating like whether or not you want to go, it suddenly really highlights the parts you really want to do and the parts that you just kind of like were filler. Not necessarily filler, but like less of a priority. So I thought about what if I started canceling parts of the trip and reconfiguring it, and going through that thought exercise, I realized like I could have simplified it a bit. Haha. So what does it look like? All right, Excel, don't dox me, Excel. Don't dox me, Excel. Woo. Woo. I showed one friend this and he's just like, this is a crazy person document. Like this is a document of a mad person. And so let me walk you through my mad person Excel document here. First, let's focus on these top rows. So top row, I had the question of when do I want to go? So I set up and I just wrote down, here's the date range. So I was looking at like, initially this was November 1st through December like 10th or so. So I just wrote down, here are the dates, here are the days of the week, and I highlighted the weekends because it's important to know, like, is this going to be a popular day for travel or an unpopular day for travel? Later on, I added in, once I knew where I was staying, I marked what are my laundry opportunities for like, where do I have coin operated laundry? What laundry's in room? And this will not carry over to future plans. And then I started counting of like, how many days of outfits do I need? This was part of my packing optimization I did like 6 months ago, where I bought a bunch of new underwear and shirts and things to like get my one bag down. I added ticketed events in. So this is like, on this day, here are events where I have purchased tickets to do this thing or made reservations to do this thing, so that I know that like this is locked, like this activity is locked in. Because when in multiple days, I frame it as like, here's all the things I want to do in this, kind of like in this part of town. And I make it like, that's this part of town day. And those are fungible, right? Like you could wake up one day, you're traveling, you're like, I said I was going to go do this, like walk this philosopher path in Kyoto and like enjoy nature, but you wake up and it's raining, or you wake up and you just feel like not doing that. And so I want to give like, these are the only things I will say, like these in the hotels are like what I actually have like locked into my itinerary. Everything else is flexible day of, because, and optional. Nothing's like, I'm not like hard code, like let's do these things. I just know I want a list of like options to kind of like options to do that day that past me has vetted, so I can decide what I want to do out of that list. So you're not like 2 p.m. What are we gonna do right now? Self. And so that's why a lot of these, anything not bolded is like 100%, generally speaking, 100% optional. And the way I started organizing things, which I enjoyed, was essentially put down where I was going to be, color coded. Above it, my hotel. And then for my next place, kind of waterfall style, the next place, the next place, the next place, kind of like downhill from there. And what this let me do when I was planning is I could just like copy paste a whole block and move it around to kind of like reshuffle where I was going and when, to see if that made sense. Because like once I locked it, I started filling out more, but initially it was only like the details were like this level of just like, this day I'm traveling for 2.5 hours and then I want to do this. Later on, I started actually filling in more like things. And then later on, some things I put down like TBD, like, oh, I kind of want to do like a cooking class, or I want to do like an art workshop, or I want to do like a walking tour, kind of like ideas of things I'd want to do at some point in the trip, kind of write down on the side. And I'll go through all the individual things. I'm a crazy person. It just helped me organize because I planned this over like a year. And I started off with having like a flat text document where I was like writing down like Kyoto and like writing things down, Tokyo. And while that's good for like brainstorming and gathering notes, or like you see like a TikTok about somewhere and you look it up and you like bookmark it or write it down, this helped me much more for me visualize like the flow and the time frame. Because then you can start saying things like, this is a 2-day stay, like 2 nights. Like, is that too short? Is that too long? And then eventually I had things like cut content, essentially, of like, here are the things that were initially part of this list that I eventually decided like, not worth the time, this juice wasn't worth the squeeze. Or like one of them was like, I want to go to Kyushu. I thought it'd be really cool if we look back on the map out here. If I click the map, I had the idea of what if, because like one of the ways I started planning this trip was like, I'm going to go to Tokyo. I'm going to go do this bike ride. I'm going to spend a lot of it on Shikoku here. I was going to like go to Matsuyama. I was going to go to Takamatsu. There's like some cool artist islands up here where you spend like all day on this island full of like outdoor art sculptures. There's like some whirlpool tours, some like mountain ropeways. And then from there, I was going to come down to Iwadahama, I guess, and then take the ferry over to Kyushu and then explore Kyushu a bit. And then from Kyushu, come back up, stop in oh shit, what's the name? Saga. Stop in Saga for my Zombieland Saga pilgrimage. Like this anime worked as a means of tourism, and I'll do it. And part of this was, I'll admit, part of this was inspired by watching shit, what's it called? The anime movie with the chair. The guy turns into a chair where she hitchhikes across from Kyushu, where she take this ferry ride is part of that anime. And I'm like, oh yeah, if I can do part of my trip that overlaps an anime I watched, 10 out of 10 always. And so I was kind of like going to do this loop of like Tokyo, down through Shikoku, Matsuyama, ferry around to Fukoku, Kyushu area. There's a Princess Mononoke Island down here. That's like this big overgrown jungly island that was inspiration for Princess Mononoke that I thought about going to as well. And then like then going back up here, stopping by Himaji Castle, coming back to Tokyo. And so that's where, right? That's what I was going for. And that's why I'm clicking on OBS right here instead of my actual Word document. That's why I have Kyushu here and Hakone and like these art, like Naoshima, Art Island and Kankeki Gorge. These were all kind of like cut because as I had them written out over here and I was like shuffling things around, I was looking at the timing and like how long I would have in places or how much transit time there was. And I was like, shit, man, that's too much. That is too much. Because I look at it, because in my mind, Japan's not that big. In my mind, Japan is a small country, but it's still big. Japan's the size of California. You got Japan, you got California. They're the same size. It's the same size as the UK, right? So like, while it's feasible with high-speed rail to go from Tokyo down to Kyushu, it's still like a day of travel time, right? Same for going up to Hakone. And part of me, like, I want to break free of like going to Tokyo or Kyoto or to other places. But I'm like, as I was planning it and I was like looking at my list here and like all the stuff I wanted to do, I'm like, but I like Tokyo and Kyoto. Like, as I was looking at this plan, I was looking at Tokyo here towards the end, and I was like, but there's all these things I want to do in Tokyo. Why did I like? It's you know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? The goddamn hipster in me. I was raised to like do backpack travel to places people haven't gone. Rick Steves, Europe through the back door, circa 2007. But I'm like, you know what? Sometimes going to the touristy places or the popular places, well, it's like they're popular because they're fun or they're nice or they're cool. And I was going to be going in goddamn November, not like peak cherry blossom season or golden, which I did the first time, or golden week, which I did the second time. I'll admit this, I'm going to admit this here. Compared to other countries and other places, say Western Europe, I don't mind crowded areas in Japan because I'm a foot taller than everybody. When I went to the cherry blossoms in 2018 or so, it was packed. Like some of these markets were absolutely packed with people, but I felt no claustrophobia or no social anxiety because one, everyone's generally polite, and two, I get to see everybody. Absolute cheat, an absolute cheat. Same for like the super packed subways. You're just like, yeah, man, I can see over everybody. This is fine. I'm not gonna check my height privilege. I'll keep it forever. So that's general organizational structure. So what is I actually gonna do? Oh, then I started listing out restaurants because I've mentioned this on stream before. I sometimes have a hard time feeding myself. Not quite to the level of the eating disorder, but I sure have taken those tests before of just like, am I at risk? And the tests are always like, little bit, buddy, little bit, but we're not going to say you have to see a doctor about it yet, but maybe a little bit. And so finding restaurants and finding places to eat has always been a struggle for me, even just like living my normal life. Like when I was sick like 2 weeks ago, I was just like, I was not eating enough food. It was becoming a minor problem, but I got over it. I got past it. So traveling in Japan, I've had moments where it's hard to eat. Like oh, I'm just gonna eat onigiri from the konbini again. I'm just like, I'm tired of eating food. I'm tired of having to like. So to short circuit that, and part of it is like, I'm almost entirely vegetarian, and that is hard to do when traveling internationally. And sometimes you go to places in Japan where it's like, oh, this is vegetarian. It has a bunch of dashi and it's full of fish. And you're just like, that's not what it means. So, takes a little B here. I started making a list of here are popular vegetarian restaurants in Tokyo and Kyoto to eat at. Or what I've done, I did this in my last trip. I was in the mountains areas, and I just found like a review for like a Mexican restaurant in the mountains of Japan. And I was just like, thank God. And it was just like, I don't know. So you have like Weeaboo, you have Ameriboo, you have Tiaboo. It was clearly someone from Japan who was like a Mexicaboo, I guess. And they just loved Mexico and Mexican culture and had like this whole restaurant set up to look like a Mexican restaurant in the middle of like, I think it was Takayama City in the mountains of Japan, with like Day of the Dead, like those, like, you know, those Trader Joe's like skull planters that you can pick up, not planters, like pots, with a little succulent in them, like those sorts of things, and like license plates on the wall, walls. It was great. I was like, oh, thank God, Mexican food. Was it like what I think of as Mexican food? Absolutely not. Was it a Japanese interpretation that was delicious? Yes. Did I know what I was ordering? Finally. I had one ramen Akihabara, like my last trip, where it was, you go in, highly reviewed ramen bar, which I'm getting a little bit better at, but they had like there's like a vending machine on the wall that has like buttons you push, and you push the buttons, and then it says you owe this much money, and you like pay the money, and it prints out a receipt, and you take the receipt to the counter. And I either misread it or I guessed, and I ended up what was kind of essentially a like tuna casserole ramen, where like it clearly was supposed to be like some seafood ramen with like tuna and like tempura flakes or something, but like the smell of it and the taste of it was just like, this was a tuna casserole my parents made out of Sunset magazine in 1998. And it was great. It turned out like it hit like some deep nostalgic note, and I was just like, fantastic. Give me that tuna casserole ramen. So over here was like restaurants started building out. started writing out other like food areas. So some places are like dense food areas. Like in Hiroshima, there was like a ramen food court area. Some were just like local specialties. So on this column going down, I started writing down restaurants as I did like where I was staying, going to the right, to left to right. So first day, arrived Tokyo. I think my flight, like 3 p.m. flight arrives. There's like one flight. There's like one flight from Seattle to Tokyo on Japan Airlines. I get to my hotel, check in, crash and die. Next day, I had it was a photo workshop, like a 2-hour photo workshop, walking around Shinjuku on how to take cool cyberpunk-esque photos of Tokyo that I was super looking forward to. I was really looking forward to this photo workshop because I love night photos. Photography was a big hobby I do. I traveling, and cyberpunk photos are just cool. I'm not trying to tell you about that. So I had this cool photo workshop. I had to cancel. Stop. And the next day, taking this bus over. It's like 2-hour bus ride to the Kawaguchiko area to hopefully see Mount Fuji. Off that hopium, right? There was several like fall foliage walking areas that are illuminated at night. I was going to do a bunch of night photography on. There's a ropeway on Mount Fuji I was going to go to. I had a boat tour listed, but I cut the boat tour out. This area, by the way, Kawaguchiko, is like, it seems like the better Hakone. Like Hakone is like the touristy area for onsens. But this is a little bit farther away. And from what I've read and all the research I did, it's more of a local tourist area instead of an international tourist area, which I'm for. Give me the domestic tourist areas over the international ones. Just because of like, I don't know, international crowds, influencer culture. It just gets to me. I was in places in Kyoto I went to last time that got hit by like deep of like, I'm doing my influencer photo shoot. I'm recording my TikTok in the middle of the pathway. That kind of like sucks the joy out of it for me. Then in Kyoto, I was going to do 4 nights in Kyoto. 1, travel. Usually my first day is travel. I had a bar crawl. As someone who struggles when traveling alone, doing like these organized bar crawl tours are great because you get to hang out with other people who usually speak English. You meet some people, you get taken to like some local dive bars, you have some drinks, you have some appetizers, like $60 to $60, $80 for the night. Some locals running them. Fantastic. They're wonderful. Are they always worth it? If you're traveling by yourself and you're introverted and socially anxious, yes. Are they almost dominated by one tour group called like Magic Tours or something? Yes, also yes. Second day, I had 2 things scheduled. Stop. This is going to be right now. This is the emails I got this morning. Team Labs opened up a new Kyoto location, which I didn't know about until I planned my trip and a friend told me, and I just booked. If you can see over here, I already had a Team Labs scheduled for the end of the trip in Tokyo, and I'm like, Team Labs Kyoto, scheduled that one. There is a non-verbal stage performance called Gear, which I'm not quite sure what it is, but there's no talking and it's all just like sounds, percussions, body movements, kind of like a modern production of something that I got highly recommended. I got tickets for. There's a matcha drink place got good reviews, Nishiki Market, just kind of like a wandering around sort of day. Other places inside Kyoto. This was going to go to the Castle in the Sky place. I decided to not do that because it was 7 hours of transit. This is going to be my like laundry day and just hang out in bed rot day, which I need like every week. I think it's fine. One thing about traveling by yourself, it's a lot easier to be like, on this day, I'm not going to do anything. Last day, I didn't actually book this because the time didn't work out. But Arashiyama is it's like a 1 block long bamboo grove in Kyoto that's super cool, super packed. It was too crowded for me to enjoy it last time, but I read there's night ghost tours where they tell ghost stories as they walk you through this bamboo grove at night, and I'm just like, hell yes, hell yeah, give me those ghost tours. Just eat that up. Some bridge, Fushinari sunset trip was what it was scheduled for this night, and this is where I need to like I was going to update it. I need to update it right now. We're going to go like this. And this is the bike ride. So this was, oh my God, I'm scrolling OBS. Yep. This was this bike ride. Here, actually, let me see if I have a better view of this. Oh man, it is a good thing that it's a good thing that I turned off that browser before doing the search, because my friends, it docks me immediately. Oh no. I want to see if there's like a good map of this, or a good like product. Give me a good photo. Give me a good photo example. Yes, fine. Except cookies. God. Nope. Whatever. Close that tab. Close that tab. So the idea. Here's my idea. Was it a good idea? This is my retrospect saying probably not. Come to Onomichi right here. Oh my God. Onomichi. So you come to Onomichi. I was going to stay. Here we go. Essentially stay like right here in this area. Is it over there or over here? Over here. Stay over here. Essentially stay at the train station. Oh my God. Google Maps. Shut off. You stay at the train station. First thing in the morning, you come down here, you rent an e-bike, and then you take the ferry to the main road. And then from the main road, you follow the signs. And I was going to bike 35 kilometers, maybe more, as I explore the islands. Stop, take photos. There's a lot of like restaurants and places set up for people doing this specific bike ride. So like a lot of bike parking, and you kind of go in, you have food, you have snacks, you pause, you get like a calorie mate or Pocari Sweat. And then I was going to go halfway. So like somewhere around here, here it is. I had, God fucking damn it, Google. I can't show both. See photos. I was going to stay in like this kind of geodesic yurt type structure, on the beach. So these are like on, like, yeah, you park your bike, and it's like, it's on the beach, and they have like a little restaurant. I was going to stay there for a night, and then get back on the bike and do the rest of the cycling trip down, the rest to Imabari. Like it's only 70 kilometers. I do have an e-bike. I told my friend who does like mountain biking and long distance cycling, I'm like, oh, I'm doing this bike trip and it's 75 kilometers. And his like, the dismissive tone in which he just kind of like was like, 2 days for 70 kilometers made me like, it didn't make me feel bad, but I was just like, shut up. I don't ride bikes very often. So go to Imabari and then bust down to Matsuyama. So if you go back to my old spreadsheet, my little spreadsheet, I was going to stay in Onomichi, forward my luggage, next day, bike, stay at the Waka Hotel for one night. It's 5 hours of biking. Then the next day, get my luggage in Matsuyama, check in my new hotel, stay there for a day, and then have one full day in Matsuyama, go to Dago Onsen, call it my recovery day, and then go to Hiroshima. And like, as I was sitting there in bed, sick, ill, dying, ailing, I was like, this plan is shit. Like, that's 1, 2, 3 hotels. The trip to Japan is canceled. I'd be right here in Saturday the 22nd. I ruptured my eardrum. So I can't hear out of my left ear, and I got to take special care of it. And this bike ride in particular, off the table. And also for like these first 5 days, I would have felt like absolute garbo, and like a garbo person trying to like deal with living by myself in Japan. If I was going with a partner, like if I had a girlfriend I was going with, I would have not canceled the trip, because then you can offload some of the cognitive load to the other person. But going by yourself, it would have been bad. It would have been bad for me. I had 5 medicines to do. It would not have been pleasant. So looking at this part where it's like 1, 2, 3 hotels over the course of 4 days. Now that I'm looking at this, I'm like, that plan was bad. And what I would do instead, and by instead, I mean, I'm essentially probably redo this trip or a variant of it, either next November or retool it for another season. I think just staying in the same hotel in Onomichi for 3 days and like essentially leaving your luggage here in the hotel room, double booking for 1 day, staying in a hotel for the halfway point, and then essentially cut out Matsuyama from this. So it's like you go bike to this hotel and return to your same hotel room with all your stuff in it instead of dealing with luggage forwarding, because that was starting to give me a little bit of anxiety, especially because like it would have had like my laptop in it, and they're like, don't luggage forward things that are valuable, and I'm like, well, sure, shit ain't keeping it on my bicycle. And also there's the deep threat of rain. So I think in the future I would cut out Matsuyama from as part of this trip. And even though I'm doing is like a single day trip, so you bike out 1 day and bike back or bus back. I looked at capsule hotels and they're not my vibe. I am 38 years old. I am not doing a capsule hotel. I will save money and I will be cheap on many aspects of my life, but I want my own room and I want my own bathroom. I don't care if it is visiting my parents. I don't care if it is doing a cool adult summer camp with my friends. I don't care if it's doing a day trip to Victoria, British Columbia. I want my own room and my own bathroom, and I will pay whatever is necessary to get that. This is a standard I've learned about myself, and I have done hostels. I've done shared rooms. I have done Airbnbs where it's like 6 of us in a 3-bed Airbnb and you just share a bed with a friend. I've done that before. And while most of the time it's been perfectly fine is one of those things where in retrospect, I'm like, you know what, nowadays, I'm just going to get my own hotel room. I'm going to get my own bathroom. I did share a hotel suite with 2 friends on a trip to Las Vegas. And that worked out because I had my own room and bathroom. Now, would I share in a pinch if I had to? Sure. But it's deeply not on my list of things I prefer to do. So no capsule hotels. Sanish of 25 years ago. 25? 20? Sanish of 20 years ago, yes, capsule hotels would have been up his alley. That was my hosteling years, where just me, a backpack, some weird ass hostel situations, shared everything, no valuables to my name. Absolutely. Capsule hotels, great. I also have the deep fear that the capsules won't be long enough. Because fitting into Japanese-sized beds has run into some issues like that in the past, but that's fine. So, in retrospect, I would have simplified this part of the trip a bit. I still really, really, really want to do it, though, because it seems super cool. So that's one part of my trip. In retrospect, I would trim down a bit, because that saves 1 day, effectively. Then I was going to go to Hiroshima, ferry over. There's a cool... Oh, didn't open that browser. There's a ferry, like a 3-hour ferry you could take, which seems kind of cool. You just kind of walk on. Hiroshima, the Peace Museum, shopping center, food, okonomiyaki food area. Miyajima, I'd still keep that on this list. This part seems pretty reasonable. And like the great thing about these notes is like this, I can just, copy paste that to a new itinerary. Not now. Jesus Christ, Excel, not now. And then back in Tokyo for the last 3 nights. Things I had scheduled. E-bike rental ferry. I had a bar crawl set in Hiroshima, so I get in first night bar crawl. Should have been fun. There was a traditional Japanese archery lesson available at Hiroshima Castle. That seemed pretty cool. I did archery in college and I really loved it. And this was like the traditional, those asymmetric Japanese longbows. And so I was stoked. I was pretty stoked for that one. Then when I got into Tokyo, I had another bar crawl in the Kochijoji area, which is where Bocchi the Rock was set. Definitely not anime motivated for my destinations. No, couldn't be me. I was going to be in Shinjuku again, just because it's easy and centralized. I had another Team Lab set. Samurai Time Restaurant, which is the inheritor of the robot. There was like, if you remember, like there was a Robot Time Restaurant or something, which like this big neon bright spectacle type dinner show of just like dancers, and it's not cabaret, but it's like verging on a little bit, where you have like animatronics and lights and smoke machines and just super saturated out of all your senses. Where I was going to do 2 strong zeros, crank those down at 430. I had, and this is the other thing I was really looking for. I was looking forward to a lot of these things, but I can like do my rice maker just finished. I don't think I ever adjust my rice maker for the new time, for the time zone shift, so it's off by an hour. It's fine. There's a anime voice acting lesson I had signed up for, which I was very excited to do. Just because, haha. It's one of my main hobbies now. And then I was going to do Ikebukuro in the afternoon. Apparently I had written down one of my friends, whose name's getting hella doxed right here. Sorry, Nachika. Putting a shopping request of like, can you please buy these Japanese makeup items for me? Sorry, you're not getting them. But that inspired me to realize like, oh, I should buy myself a bunch of Japanese makeup. These 2 days, the main things besides my scheduled events were Tokyo Christmas markets, because Tokyo has a bunch of Christmas markets that pop up in early December, which is why I had these trips at this time. A bunch of Christmas light illuminations, flea markets up, and this was my shopping. These 2 days were essentially just like, Sanish spends all of his money and makes use of the USD to yen currency exchange rate. And now when I head down here, because Tokyo's big, Tokyo's large, and my last trip I did a lot of crisscross applesaucing across the city, and I realized like I need to like cool that down a little bit. So I broke up what I wanted to do based on the regions. So like T-Labs, I'll be in the south part of Tokyo. The northeast in Akihabara, like there's a Monster Hunter bar pop-up I wanted to go to. A bunch of stuff in the west. Oh, sorry. Shimokitazawa is where Bocchi the Rock is set, which just happens to be nearby Kochijoji. Sorry, everybody. Kochijoji is kind of nearby the Ghibli Museum. By the way, one item that was on this Kyoto list that didn't make the cut was the Nintendo Museum in Uji, which is nearby, because I didn't win the lottery to get tickets to the Nintendo Museum. Womp, 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 womp. Womp, womp, womp. Womp. Christmas markets. Shirakubu, which I didn't know about, which is essentially Koreatown in Tokyo, which is on my list of going there so I have some different types of food that aren't Japanese food. Because by this point in the trip, by day 20, I will be sick of Japanese food. Just like there's some Japanese foods I really like. There's a lot of Japanese foods I don't like. I'm saying it here and I'll stand by it. And I get tired of it. And I'm like, please find me an Indian restaurant. Please find me a Nepalese restaurant. I'll take a Mexican restaurant. I'll go to some weird ass like America Town restaurant. I'll go to some Koreatown restaurant. Just anything else. Some different fall color locations. Very exciting. Nakano Broadway for shopping for anime figurines. Mariah Index I have written down for something. Who knows? I had the idea of doing one of the Japanese batting cages just to live out my Persona 5 dreams. There was a JoJo World store for JoJo Bizarre Adventure. There's a couple websites that list like here are the pop-ups happening for anime related pop-ups in different stores to check out. And then fly home and then cry. Things that didn't make the cut: Kyushu, Hakone, Shikoku, Naoshima Modern Art Island, Natural Gorge and Ropeway, the Castle and Sky Island up in Osaka, the Cup Noodle Museum. I really want to go to the Cup Noodle Museum. There's probably 2 of them though. There's one in Osaka and one in Yokohama. at a ramen museum. G-Cans, this is the one I really, really, really wanted to go to. And I'm thankful that the tour I wanted to go to wasn't even available, so I'm not missing out. I'm gonna show you a picture because I love man-made mega structures. This is something I've realized as become an old man, is if you can show me like, here is a concrete edifice made by people, like even sometimes like in like freeway overpasses and like interchanges, I'm just like, shit, man, like people made this. That's absolutely wild. Maybe I'm just easily impressed. Who knows? I'm easily impressed by physical structures. I'm not easily impressed by my employment. So G-Cans were these kind of like, take more pictures. This giant, essentially it's a giant underground void where they do for flood control for Tokyo. So instead of like flooding Tokyo, they redirect water into these giant underground reservoirs. And they have tours of them when they're not in use, so obviously not in use. And I thought that'd be so cool. I thought it'd be so cool to do a tour here. Unfortunately, it was not available. Bop, bop, bop. Next time. And that essentially was my itinerary for my Japan trip. Now, things lessons and takeaway key things here is I put too many hotel changes in. One, I made the trip too long. This was going to be a 2-week trip. The trip was supposed to be like, or it's 2 weeks. No, I don't want to sum. Give me a count. Like, the trip was supposed to be this long. But then I kept expanding and I added an extra week. And in April, when I was doing this, I'm like, oh yeah, an extra week, that would be fine. But kind of like as I approached, even before I got sick, as I was approaching this departure date of November 16th, I started to feel like I didn't want to be gone that long. Like, I like the life I've built for myself. I like all my hobbies and all the routines and things I do in my life. And being gone for 22 days suddenly felt like too much for me. Like I'd miss seeing my friends. I'd miss all my hobbies that I do. I'd really miss like streaming or playing videos with my friends or playing Dungeons and Dragons with my friends. Like these things I'd miss. And 2 weeks started feeling like a lot of time. So I think if I did this again, I would do 3 weeks. And to get there, I'd probably do something like this. Delete. Yeah, I probably do like this, where I just do Tokyo, Onomichi. Oh, not Matsuyama. I'll take that out. I made a backup tab for myself. I'd probably do a trip that looked more like a solo trip like this, where it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Something like a 12-day trip, 14-day trip. Maybe put another Tokyo day in here at the start, where it's just like, it's Tokyo, it's this cool bike ride, it's Hiroshima, Miyajima, it's back to Tokyo. The Magic Castle somewhere in there. Like I'd probably do this as a trip instead, essentially cutting out this part of the trip entire, and one day in Matsuyama. I think that'd be a more fun trip and kind of more focused. Because even as I was canceling the trip and looking at all my reservations and things, cost-wise, let's undo that because I felt very destructive. I should hide this for a second. See what I have on this next tab. Let me duplicate this tab. Actually, I can do this. There we go. Because here you go. Cost-wise, nothing, no private information. This is the budget of what I paid for. The plane state's expensive, right? $1,200, $1,250. But like the hotels are really what killed me in terms of cost. Like Awesome. If I just add up the hotel costs, that's like $3,000. It was $3,000 hotel cost, $1,250 for the airfare. And then it was how much was all this? And then for like activities and things was $800, $900. So really it's like hotels were the main price. And part of that was me wanting nicer hotels. I think I've hit a point in my life where I again, the private room, your own bathroom, having a hotel that I feel comfortable spending time in. I realized my last trip to Japan is very important. I had some hotels that weren't very comfortable to spend time in my last trip, and it kind of really dragged me down. And so some of these aren't expensive. Like the Onomichi one wasn't expensive, but they were at the very least pricier per night. And so the plane ticket was expensive, but like this was the bulk of the, cause like once you're in Japan, I don't mean to be dismissive, but if you're not going out to fancy, super high-end restaurants, like Michelin star restaurants, the food is basically free. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, if you're in a major if you're in a high cost living area where like getting a sandwich is $17, going to Tokyo to getting ramen and the ramen is like 1,000 yen, you're just like, that's $7. This ramen was free. I spend more on a coffee than on this full meal. And when you're not super food motivated and you just eat out of a supermarket, it's also a lot cheaper. So that was the cost part of it. So I definitely like, what I might do is kind of my key takeaways from planning this and thinking about this and going through this exercise and reviewing is, there's a trip I want to do by myself, right? And that's like, actually, I take it back. Based on some travel I've done in the last year, since starting this planning process with my friends, different friend groups even, traveling with friends is way more fun than traveling on your own. And I think to retool this trip, what I'd want to do is plan it such that I'm either traveling with friends throughout or at least overlapping with friends for some part of it. Like if this was the same itinerary, but it was like, oh, in this part, I'm spending time with friend A, and over here, I have 2-day overlap with friend B. Like that would make the whole trip feel like significantly more fun and better. So I just need to spend the next couple months in a propaganda campaign to convince my friend to go to Japan with me. I think I've almost lured one in with the idea of this bike ride. Like he went to Japan with his niece, and I can almost feel that one. I have some other friends who probably should be taking some PTO and might as well go to Japan for your PTO. It'd be a real shame if we all went at the same time. It'd be a little awful, wouldn't it? We go to a lot of dessert cafes. Real shame if we all went to a bunch of dessert cafes together. Oh, wouldn't that be awful to go to all those cool Japanese dessert cafes? Which I do love going to. And it's very strange to go to when it's like 98% women, and then you as the one guy are just like, I want a nice keiki. Give me the keiki. I want a giant sundae I can eat on my own. Definitely had that Akihabara where I'm just like, it was a cool, like, it was like a honey dessert, and I'm just like, I was the only guy in this cafe. I'm just like, it's so good. It's worth it. So this was my Japanese trip that didn't happen. Sob, pity, etc., and so on and so on. I think we go back to this one here. I couldn't get this hotel refunded. I only got part of this refund. I'm trying to get my credit card to refund the rest. And then I couldn't get like this refunded or these three refunded. So I'm out like $1,000. Which kind of sucks all a bit. But it was a lesson in not getting sick. Easy. Just never leave my apartment. Never leave my apartment and I won't get sick and I won't have these problems. Wonderful. Bam. Turn that window capture off. Bam. We're back to the iPad. Bam. So that was Japan on this chatting stream. Again, there's not gonna be much drawing. Here we're gonna draw a box. Nice. We're gonna do some drawing. We're just some lines as drawing practice. Look at that drawing practice. Drawing is a hobby where I really, really want to be good, get better at it, but I just don't have the habit or routine. One habit I have been building up recently, which I'm pretty pleased with myself about, is going to the gym and actually exercising for the first time in my goddamn life. Getting sick highlighted this because I stopped going and I'm like, why do I feel bad? And it's like, because you stop going to the gym and you feel better on days you actually work out. And I'm like, no, I don't want to accept this truth. This truth is awful and terrible. And then I today, I procrastinated for 90 minutes at my desk before going to the gym. The gym only takes like half an hour. It doesn't take very long. It's like a block away and I walk to it. I work out for 20 minutes. I come back, I shower and I'm like, wow, I feel so much better. And I'm just like, why can't I feel that great after demolishing a plate of cookies? Huh? Upsetting. It's upsetting. But I went to the gym. I'm a good fox boy and I went to the gym and I worked out and I lifted some weights so I don't become decrepit in my old age. More decrepit in my old age, I should say. Those are my takeaway lessons. What else I got on this list? Drawing's not happening. I'm just gonna just cross that. Sanish is not drawing on a drawing stream. Classic combo. So I just like doodling my pen. Doodling my pen. So that was a Japanese trip. Done and done. Let's never talk about it again. I say that, but as my friend pointed out, come January 1st, I'll be restarting this whole process. But with all that, most of that planning already done, I'm going to treat it much more low key and might just do I might just do it like the same trip, but I might do it in April and hit the cherry blossoms again because that was really cool when I did it in 2018. And so I'm like, oh, the cherry blossoms are really cool and fun and the weather was nice. And it's just like all these cool festivals and the Hanabi's happening. And I'm just like, what if I could just do that again? Why not do the fun, cool thing again? Right? I'll admit some dark part of me wants to go to Japan in July and experience the cicadas and the awful heat and the humidity and the terribleness of summer just because I've seen it in so many slice of life animes. Let me stay some cool, refreshing place in the mountains that has those little glass chimes, the small glass chimes in the entryway. Give me a fan. Let me just sit back and have a cold melon and it's just hot out and cicadas are going. I say that, but I don't like the heat. I don't actually enjoy that experience. But it's seen in so many animes. I'm just like, it's in my animes. It's in my animes, guys. Let's go do this trip. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to go in August. I'm not a crazy person. So that was my failed Japan trip. I actually feel better now. I except for the whole, ear thing. There's a trick I do to jumpstart my appetite after being sick for a while, not eating food. And that is bake a shit ton of cookies and live off cookies for a day. And then I have enough calories in me to go forth and make actual food once again. That's the trick I have to do to myself. All right, so we're gonna cut that. All right, next topic. Look at my actual list. Sick, cancellations, updates. I did that live. So about a month ago, one of my favorite Kamiyoshi VTuber, Mint Phantom, had a pre-made cosplay released through a company called Wet Rose. And I realized last year for SakuraCon, I had a maid outfit. And I realized her cosplay would be a higher quality, different maid outfit. And I'm just like, hell yeah. So I bought a Mint Phantom cosplay wherein I took measurements of myself. I looked at their measurement guide. I took measurements of myself. I looked at their measurement guide. I'm like, click. And then I hoped, and then I prayed, and then I hoped some more that I ordered the right size because what is a waist size? What bust size should I use for someone who does not have a bust? What are my hips? Do I even have hips? The measurements for women's clothing and men's clothing have some slight differences in proportions. And so when you're buying you're buying women's clothing online, you kind of have a bit of a hope and a bit of a prayer that what you're doing will fit correctly. So I got my Mint Phantom cosplay in, and by sheer weight of material alone, I can tell it is much higher quality than the maid dress I had before. Welcome, Bonnie. I'm talking about just a chatting stream. No Anno tonight, just a chatting stream. I just talked about Japan on this bullet point. I talked about being sick on this bullet point. Now I'm talking about cosplay on this bullet point. Yes. So I bought a Mint Phantom cosplay outfit. I got it about a month ago, 3 weeks ago. I did just an initial fit of just a dress, and like, it just fits. It just fits. Like, working. First off, my maid outfit, the zippers in the back, and like, I have not put on many or worn or had many dresses in my days. Back zippers, like, there's always a trope of just like the girlfriend's like, oh boyfriend, can you help me with the back of my zipper for my dress? Ha ha ha. And you're like, oh, women can't can't do the back zip with their dress. And I've zipped up many backs of dresses in my days on ex-wives and ex-girlfriends and things. So when it happens to you and you can't do your own back zipper, you're just like, well, shit, that is hard. So luckily, this Mint Phantom cosplay, the zipper's on the side. I'm like, thank God. However, it just barely fits. The bust, obviously the boob area, because that's empty, but the actual like chest size just barely fits. And part of that is height reasons. Like, these are meant for people who are definitely like a foot shorter than myself. So where the waist should sit hits my rib cage. So it's not actually hitting my waist size, which is a bit, it's a bit squishy, right? You have like, there's that gap between your rib cage and your hips that's a little squishy, so you can fit things in. But it's like slightly up on my ribs, which are a little bit wider. So getting that last zip up, that last bit of zip, I'm just like, oh, please fit. There's no returns. But it fit. I did a test fit a month ago, and I'm just like, whoa, done and dusted. Put that away for a couple more months because I'm not going to actually wear it until SakuraCon in the spring. But coming out of being sick, so I was sick so I wore a maid outfit. I had a maid outfit for Halloween. So maid outfit for Halloween. This may surprise you. I have a guy. Big shock reveal. The voice changer really hides it. I can tell. And I have friends who make cosplay of myself, and it's like, that is next level for me. So I had a maid outfit for Halloween. I spent about 2 months buying and practicing makeup to enhance it. I got I moved from electric razors to safety razors to get a closer shave so I can apply the makeup better. I started painting my nails for the first cosplay. No, after the first cosplay. And that's something I've ended up liking doing for myself anyway, not for cosplay purposes. But for Halloween, a month ago, I shaved everything that needed to be shaved, which is I'll say it's on stream and I'll say it again. If you are a guy and you have never shaved your legs, every guy I feel should be required to try shaving their body hair, like all of it, just so they can learn how much goddamn time it takes, how much goddamn effort's required. Like, you're thinking like, oh, I shave my face every day, like it can't be that bad. And you start shaving your legs and you're like, fuck, there's so much leg. And just like, it's hard to reach. You don't think about it when you shave your face every day because you're going to see it all. And you're like, the back of your thigh, you're just like, oh, this feels so weird. So in April, when I did my first maid outfit, I shaved my legs, and I've been kind of doing it since then because I'm just like, I feel much better about myself having everything shaved now. And I didn't realize that like since puberty, like I did not realize like this had bothered me since puberty, since I turned 13 years old. My body hair has bothered me. And so when I started shaving last year, or actually earlier this year, I'm like, I suddenly feel better about a lot better about myself. So I got sick, right? I got sick 2 weeks ago. And when you're sick, you're just like, you let yourself go. You don't shave anything. So earlier this week, last weekend, I'm like, okay, Sanish, buckle down. We just got to do everything. We just got to sit down and just shave everything for like hour and a half, however long it takes. Which, a quick note, in the past, I'd put like earbuds in, listen to like a stream or something while I was shaving. Because of my whole ear issue, I can't put earbuds in, so I couldn't. I had to have my iPad like precariously balanced on the edge of my bathtub and pray it didn't fall. I shaved everything. And then part of me realized, I'm like, oh, let's do a full test of this cosplay. And so I did a full test of my Mint Phantom cosplay. And I didn't steam, like it needs to be steamed. And that's like steaming a fresh cosplay you got out of bag is like a whole deal. But I tried everything on, all the parts on. And the two takeaways I got from it are, one, it looks great. It looks fantastic. I have a photo, and I thought about sharing the photo on stream, and I have to de-anonymize it a little bit. But I'm like, I'm not sure I'm ready to share that much myself on stream. I'm sorry, stream. Maybe when SakuraCon comes around. But it's really short. Like I'm looking at the length of where the skirt lands, and I'm thinking to myself, and I'm envisioning the Seattle Convention Center. Between floors, you have a lot of escalators, and I'm looking at how short this skirt is, this maid outfit, this dress. And I'm thinking about those escalators, and I'm thinking about myself, and I'm like, I need to acquire something to go under here for public decency. Because I thought the maid outfit was bad, because the maid outfit was pretty bad, because that was like, when I first wore that, I got into the convention, and like I sat down like in a chair, and like the first time I sat down, I realized that maid outfit did not cover things at all when I was sitting down. And I put this on, I realized this is 3 inches shorter. This is 3 inches shorter than what I had before. I'm just like, well. So I need to get some, I'm going to look into getting some like nude. I was looking up like new, like tan flesh color, I guess, like safety shorts for men. Finding safety shorts for women, easy. Finding it for guys, like I was searching and I couldn't find it. And it hit me like an hour in, or like half an hour in, I'm just like idly searching. I'm just looking at briefs. I'm looking at brief underwear. Like that's what I want to get. And I'm like, it's not safety shorts. It's just briefs. How Bunny Ribbon? Let me look that up. Battle Bunny. Oh man, that's great. Oh man, like a bunny outfit, like a bunny girl outfit, like that's a great idea. That's a great idea. I've seen like fan arts of like flat-chested characters in like the bunny outfits where like the cups are clearly don't fit and they're like flopping out because they're just like there's no chest there. And I'm like, could I do that? I'm like, probably. So I had to buy some safety garments for this cosplay because it is a canonically accurate cosplay outfit. So it came with a pair of Mint Phantom panties. I'm just like, those don't fit. Those don't fit because there's not enough coverage, and that'd be a problem. But it was one of those things where I was trying everything on. And I'm like, this looks great. I think it's going to be wonderful. Now, to your point about lasering things off, I did have some of my notes. This did lead me down the path. I did start laser hair removal 4 weeks ago. And it took me a while to like pick a place and get it all done. But like I started with solely, I've lasered off. Like, I'm not sure just me. This might just be me. My other guys might have this issue. I'm fine shaving my face. Because sometimes like 6 months of the year I have a beard, I grow out a beard, and 6 months of the year I don't. But there's a part of my neck, like my neck beard area, kind of like around the Adam's apple, like right above the Adam's apple and below, where it's like functionally for me, it's a different type of body hair. It's a pain in the ass to shave, like safety razor, electric, foil, like all these different like shaving methods. It's just like a shitty ass area to shave. And I'm just like, I have some friends who are getting things lasered, and they're talking about how like much nicer it is and how it's going. And I'm just like, this area sucks. And I realized like, I can just laser it off. I can just laser this hair off. So I went in, I got like that area, I lasered like my full like chest and like stomach area got lasered off. And it feels like, it's like only done one treatment, but it feels so much better. But like the doctor, dermatologist doctor, I guess I met to start with, he was like, when I told him what I wanted, he was like, yeah, that's like what I got first. And he's like, I will warn you, once you laser off one bit of area, he's like, it gets addictive. And now I'm sitting here, like as I was shaving my legs, I'm just like, what if I did everything? What if I just got all lasered off? Like, what if I just got the legs done? Because like a lot of my female friends some of my women friends have gotten their legs lasered, and they're all like, it was the best investment I ever made. And now like, now I'm thinking about like, there's a small issue of the laser hair removal technician will have to see a lot of different things. But part of me is like, laser off. I actively don't like it. And I'm just like, it hurts. Well, okay. The area under my neck, the laser hair technician lady said like, that is the most painful area to laser off. And it hurt like shit. It just hurt like all get out. But once she moved on to like my chest and like stomach areas, I'm like, oh, this is like, I can take a nap because this does not hurt the same level as my neck. But I've been thinking about like, do I want to get like all my leg? And the problem with me is like, and this has been the issue with shaving, is like when you're a guy and you have like full body hair, especially in your leg areas, it's like, do you stop somewhere, or do you have like this weird like shaving line essentially? Right? We're like, oh, I'm going to stop mid-thigh where like my boxers are. And then you're just like, oh, that's all shaved and everything above there still has hair. And you're just like, that's weird. So that's my debate is the if I do the next step, it's like, it's everything. I've had friends who don't try hair removal. Oh, that spam message. So I'm just get rid of that real quick. I know they come in and somehow like we put a space in the name. We're so clever, and Twitch is like, oh, don't know how to deal with that. But part of me does want to just like laser everything off and like take it all gone, just get rid of it. Except for like head hair and like beard hair, I'm fine to keep. But everything like essentially below the neck, I'm just like, what if I removed it all? What if I just like take it all out? Because it feels nicer, it looks nicer. It's just like, it's just better. It's just better all around. But man, it's a lot of work. But the other day I did everything. I'm like, I look pretty good right now. Let's try on that cosplay. And I did look good in it. Ha! Take that, world. Take that, world. I'm like, I might be 38, but this body hasn't seen sunlight in 30 years. My skin is perfectly preserved against UV degradation. I've said this before. If I was like 20 years old in the year 2025, I definitely would have fallen into the like be a femboy on the internet. 100%. 100%. Like that is a road I can easily see a younger me falling down if I was 18 years old in 2025. Unfortunately, or fortunately, who knows? I was not 18 in 2025. I was 18 in 2005. Oh, sorry, that's my lungs and my body turning to dust at the thought of that. No, so I have my next laser hair treatment in like a couple weeks. I'm gonna zap the rest of my neck area. The lady was so, like, when I was getting done, she was so excited. She's like, oh, your hair is reacting so well. She's like, this is so, like, she was like finding some deep satisfaction to removing like some of my hair. I'm just like, it hurts so much. I'm 38 years old. That's me dying. My old decrepit age. The problem is, like, I don't feel like an adult. Like, I'm 38 years old. I've had a successful career. I've been married and divorced. I own my own condo. I got a PhD, but I don't feel like an adult yet. And like, one day I'll feel like an adult. One day. It's not today. I play a foxboy on the internet. I'm not an adult. And I refuse to be an adult. God damn it, I refuse to be an adult. Doesn't seem fun. Doesn't seem fun to be an adult. Don't do it. Don't do it. You sure you have to do things to like do your own laundry and go grocery shopping and blah, blah, blah. Go to the gym to make sure you don't, like, your joints don't decay and you can like stand up out of chairs. But like, growing up, man, kind of lame. Kind of. I think it's because I work with so many people who are like adults, and like so many coworkers I have had are just like the most boring people who have walked God's green earth. And I'm like, I don't want to be that person. Like, I want to be cringe. I want to embrace whimsy. I want to just like live my best life. And if that is like watching anime, being a foxboy on the internet and playing video games all day, what's wrong with that? I want all my ancestors to be looking down on me and being like, we survived the potato famine, so this child can fritter away his life on the internet. Fantastic. Great. Wonderful. If you're 23, you have plenty of time to do silly things still. Plenty. So the 20s, great for doing silly things. I thoroughly enjoyed parts of my 20s. Not all of it, parts of my 20s. Yeah, doing cosplay, fantastic. I wish I started cosplay way earlier. There's some like internet scenes and cultural like moments that I totally missed because I wasn't tuned in. I had no friends who were involved to tell me about these things. I was trying to be an adult and not be like, oh, don't be cringe. And so I can look back and I'm like, man, I'd redo some of that instantaneously if I could. Sometimes I didn't know about it. Sorry, I just dropped something. I ended up holding 2 pens in my hand and gesturing with them. And I realized, 1, that's not showing up on stream. And 2, why am I holding 2 pens? Because I have 2 notepads open. My pen. But part of it is like, I wish I erased. For me at least, growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, nobody in my life watched anime and very few people played video games. So I was kind of like alone in those hobbies for a very, 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 very long time. And so just dying. Born after 9/11, or before 2001, so a big year. There's all these like internet scenes that I missed. Like I missed like webcore. I missed a lot of the early Vocaloids. I missed a lot of like internet anime online weeb communities. I missed early cosplay. I never once encountered a yaoi paddle. And like, just 'cause I didn't have any else in my life who knew about these things. And it was kind of cause like growing up, anime wasn't like a cool thing at all. It's like you got bullied for liking anime. You'd get bullied for doing cosplay. So I'm so happy that these days that's not the case. He said, knowing a small, deep hipster core to his being was like, I liked it before it was cool. I suffered in the anime trenches so everyone here could live their best lives. I set up my VCR to record Tenchi Muyo on Toonami when I was on vacation. It's good. It's great. God damn, do I penny it? Oh, I realize what it is. I finished my wine. I finished my wine. Okay, I need to finish this water and then I can get more wine. That's a cosplay thing. Oh man. It's wild. It's wild to like my chair got stuck on something. Yeah, I can see it like definitely depends on your community and like your country and like where you grew up and like your like socioeconomic background or like whether you get bullied still for these things. But like it seems that it's way more mainstream now in a good way. And I'm very thankful for that. But man, like it was late 90s, early 2000s at public schools in California, rough. There was so much concern and cognitive overhead worry that people would think you do anything that could be perceived as nerdy or gay. Like 1,000%. That's like like for men at least, like deeply beat into you by a public school society of just like those are the worst things that could happen to you. And looking back on it, I'm like, well, that was rough. I went to Anime Expo. It was exciting. I've yet to travel for a convention. I am still new to it. Like for example, the Mint Phantom cosplay, the wig became available after I purchased it. So I've ordered the wig earlier this week, and it'll be my first time trying a wig, doing like a cosplay with a wig, which I'm both excited for and deeply scared. I'm deeply scared to try to style a wig. I definitely am not going to. I'm not going to ask like styling a wig. I know is a lot of work, and I'm not going to ask my friends to help me do it, but I am going to whine and complain and make sad, helpless noises until I get some suggestions about products I need to buy. I'm gonna be like, oh, how do I do this? How do I style a wig? What do I buy? And they'll give me advice, and I'll be like, I know myself. And then I'll do it, and I'll the pro move. So I have some friends who are like exceedingly good cosplayers. Like they make their full outfits. They've done photo shoots. They've been like in magazines and things. And my ploy is simple, is to try my best, show up, have them see it, and have them be so disgusted they want to fix it. Like that's my plan going into this. Like when I did my, I did a Ren Fair, I got a Tavern Wench outfit for a Ren Fair cosplay. And I got it set up, and I had a friend in the parking lot of the Ren Fair do like my eye makeup. I've since learned how to do that a little bit better. Like helping like the lacing on the back of it. But it's one of those things where like, I definitely feel comfortable just showing up to being like, help lace up my dress, women of my life. And so far, everyone has volunteered and very, very happy to help. To be fair, I had one person who helped. Bless her heart, she did a terrible job and had to get a second friend to fix it. And I'm not saying that like in a talking about my friend behind her back, because I told her she did a terrible job. So my deep personal philosophy says I will never talk about friends behind. I'll never say something about a friend behind their back I don't actively already say to them directly. If you never lie to anyone, life's a lot easier. It's a deep lesson there. So cosplay fun. The wig, it should be a pre-done wig, but I think I just need like disentangle it and maybe like fix it a little bit. And some of the problems like wig for cosplays is, as a guy, I just don't have the equipment. Oh no, not the zipper on the bag. And some of them, like if I ever did a bunny suit out cosplay, I definitely would need. The problem, like thinking about that, like I love the idea of it, but getting fishnets that fit is going to be a challenge. I had that problem with thigh highs. Getting thigh highs that were high enough is definitely a challenge. Getting fishnets that, I mean, they're out there. They're out there. I just have to like look for them. And then the other one is, I feel like a bunny suit would probably require some sort of cosplay tape to keep things in place. We'll see. That's like next level, because when I had my short skirt maid outfit, it had like the princess cap sleeves and like some of my chest exposed. And okay, 6'4". Yeah, you know the struggle. You know the struggle then. Yeah. That's slightly taller than me, so that's a very reasonable struggle when you're trying to buy a maid dress online. I found like when I was wearing my Ren Fair dress, it was a strap. It's like a shoulder strap. Having my shoulders exposed felt like I felt way more exposed having my shoulders out in public than I ever did having like my chest or back. So doing like a bunny outfit that's just like up to the bust, rough. I have thigh highs. I got thigh highs that are high enough, and I got like 85 centimeter thigh highs, so they actually go up all the way, and I actually had like roll them down to get like to show just, the right amount. You want to show the right amount of thigh gap in your maid outfit. Like, let's be real here. Now that I say that, let me look at these photos. Am I accepting showing these photos? Oh, the photos are so shitty though. -5? -5? Oof. My big problem is my maid outfit cosplay. I got some like patent leather shoes, which getting women's size 13 shoes is rough. I didn't have the right heel protection on them, and they tore through my heel, so I started bleeding through my thigh highs. It hurt like hell. It took like a month to recover. Let's see. What does this look like if I shared it? I blurred out my face. No, I'm not sharing that. I'm not going to share that. That's too personal. Not too personal. One day, maybe. One day. Next time soccer, I'll do that. -5. I fundamentally do not understand what -5 degrees Fahrenheit means. Like deep in my soul, in my heart of hearts, I have never experienced temperatures that low. And I have absolutely no plan to ever experience this temperatures that low in my life. I think the lowest I have experienced has been like 28 degrees. One year in Seattle, it got down like to 28. -5. That is beyond what men should know as a species. -10. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm going to assume you're watching this out of Antarctica or Wisconsin or something. Because -5, -10, because the winter. Where the hell is it? -10 degrees. Norway. Oh, Norway. That would do it. That would do it. One of my trips on my trip bucket list is to do a Norway, a Sweden trip. I really want to do a winter trip to see the Northern Lights. And so I'm like, let's go to Tromsø. And then I look at the logistics and I'm like, maybe not. So I studied abroad in Europe and I traveled up. Yeah, that's why I ended up getting one layer and then I got a second layer. It's funny because like when I did fencing, I had like actual legitimate heel cups. And just because we're fencing, you're lunging a lot and you can really wreck your heels. And I'm like, I got rid of them. They would have helped. Tromsø. I think, what was it? When I was in grad school. Look at my map here. The destination when I lived. So when I went to graduate school in a geology department, and the glaciology group So my group and a couple others would often go to Antarctica for their research areas, but there was a subset who did glaciology work and their destination was always Svalbard, which I kind of weird ass remote places that you have to go through for research. Like I never got a chance to go, but hearing about them going to Svalbard, I'm just like, kind of want to go. I almost got where was it out of? It wasn't Tromsø. Bergen? My actual research project, there's no way it was Svalbard. Could be Tromsø. God, it doesn't show up on the map. I had in maybe it was Svalbard. I had I'm looking at the map right now. My actual graduate school research project should have been, it was going to be a literal rocket science project where we build a rocket with a bunch of electrical probes on it. And the launch site was going to be like Tromsø or Svalbard. And so we're going to build a rocket, take it to Norway, launch the rocket into space, explode a bunch of dust in the ionosphere and drop the rocket through the dust. It was going to be sick. It was going to be fantastic. And that was supposed to be my graduate school research. But then the goddamn government shutdown in 2010, 2011 halted the funding cycle just long enough that the funding didn't go through and we could never actually do the rocket project. I'm still bitter to this day. I was gonna have a cool project where I got to launch a sick ass rocket out of from Norway and then do actual legit rocket science, and the goddamn government. Also, like when I worked at Minecraft, I never got sent on any of the business trips to Stockholm. I've had several times of going to like Sweden, Norway. Oh, they are different countries that have just fallen through. I'm just like, God damn it. But checking out the fjords and going to Norway and Stockholm, I think it'd be super fun. And it's on my to-do list, along with like going back to Scotland, revisiting Scotland. I think it'd be a lot of fun. That's right. That's where I studied for a year. But that's on my list, along with the Japan trip, because those are two places I love visiting. But it's I'll need to plan it out, budget it. The budget. That's the one thing I loved about living in Scotland was like, let's take a plane to there's a random place in Europe on EasyJet. It is 12 euros, and we're taking your life into our hands. Yeah, like once you're in Europe, like the flights are so cheap. They're so cheap, and it's like it's an hour flight to go from Scotland to France to Paris, and you're just like, these countries are so small. These countries are so small. Like, it's upsetting. It's a little bit upsetting. But yes, the traveling for cosplay is the next level. But my next cosplay event is going to be April in Seattle, because that's where I live. The one question will always be, do I drive myself in my cosplay outfit, or do I take public transit in my cosplay outfit? The real move is, do I call in a friend to drive me? That's the pro move. That's the pro move for me. Let's mark cosplay off my list here. All right, so we're gonna go into the next topics that I thought about. My yapping, chatting, etc. But again, I was gonna prep for this stream through the week. I prepped starting 1 hour before the stream started. Haha. It happens. And by it happens, I mean it happens every time. I know, it'd be like a 30-minute bus ride for me as well. It's not so much like being on public transit in the cosplay that like I think I wouldn't like. It's waiting for the public transit. That's the part where I'm just like, ah. And then like transiting home, especially if you bought a bunch of stuff like at the artist alleys, just overladen with goods in the rain, waiting for a bus. And this, because the bus that picks me up is always like is in the like sketchiest intersection in the Puget Sound. Thanks, Durden Pike. End of November. At least April's nice. So one thing. You're waiting in a bus. You're waiting in a maid outfit. You're not wearing much clothing. The clothing you bought is, if you made it yourself, is probably better. If you're bought all fine like myself, it's cheap polyester and has no insulating properties whatsoever. And if you have no body fat on top of that, you are wrecked. Absolutely wrecked. It's latex. Well, insulating. Insulating. The things you do for cosplay, which is pretty much everything uncomfortable under the sun. You're like, but I look good in it, as you're shivering at the bus stop. Or like your heels are bleeding and you're just like, but I look good in it. Dying inside of the road. It's when you get friends to come. One, so they can give me a ride home, and two, so they can help me through my suffering. Speaking of friendship, that's my next topic here. Wow, look at that. I talk about friendships a lot on stream because I think it's. Oh, my playlist just stopped. It didn't stop. It's an important topic because, like, oh god, snow and cosplay helps. That's where you wish you had a hotel at the actual convention center. I talk about friendship a lot on stream in these chatting things because as an adult, you learn quickly that adult friendships are much, much, much harder to make than friendships as kids. Oh yeah, they're always expensive. I thought about it. I'm like, is it worth a 30-minute drive? I'm like, no. Unless. The one thing I've done, and I've realized since going through a series of serial long-term relationships, and now I'm single for the first time in several years, how much better it is sometimes to just have close friends and not actually date anybody. Like, I have some friends who, especially recently, or being sick, or in the past, where I'm just like, I am so thankful and so appreciated that these are my friends. Jesus Christ, 750. Woof. Very thankful that these people are like, these individuals are my friends, but watching them go through different phases of their life, or like going through their decision-making process for things, where I'm just like, I love them as friends, but I'm glad I am not dating them, so I do not have to be involved in that aspect of their life. And this happened this week with a friend who's going through who's looking for houses, and their approach and their thought process and their criteria is fascinating, and I'm enthralled watching it. Or like my friends who's like, but I'm glad that's not me. Or friends who are going through careers, and like I've gone through enough like consoling and comforting and helping significant others through tough career moments that watching a friend go through it and not being able to, but just like, you can comfort your friend and help your friend, but you're not living with it. It's nicer. It's nicer. You can love your friend, you enjoy parts of it, but you don't live your life with them. And I've realized that is a very important aspect for me, because like I like living alone and I like having close friends, and that has been great. Absolutely great. However, being sick did make me wish I was dating somebody, just for the fact that it would force somebody to take care of me, even though I'm the worst sick person in the world. I'm absolutely the worst sick person in the world. I'm just like, I'm dying, like a basic head cold. I'm dying. However, there are moments where you're just like, man, living someone would have been nice. Brief moments like being sick, guaranteed travel partner. Those things would be great. Everything else, no thank you. It's interesting to become closer friends with people, and it's even especially interesting because like I'm at the point where I'm comfortable saying like, being like, wow, my friend is really attractive and I really like them as a friend, and like that's it. That's the end of the story. There's nothing more beyond that. Like plant sitting, my poor house plants. And it's very different like approach to friendship than I had when I was younger, and I'm very thankful for it. And it's I know it's kind of nice. It's kind of nice. And then sometimes I think about dating people, like dating again. Oh, dogs, yeah, pets are such an extra layer to add on to things. Oh my God, I'm not a pet person. I will say this. Some of my friends have pets. Not some of my friends. I feel like all my goddamn friends have pets, except for like 2. Some of my friends are deep dog people and they have like 8 dogs and like 3 cats. Some of my friends are cat people and have cats as pets. And I've had pets. I've had pets in my past. And that is one thing where I'm thankful to not have anymore. And I'll say this, and I'll say it here on stream. I'll say it to my friends. I'll say it to everybody. I hate kittens and I hate puppies, and I never want to be near them ever again in my life. And you can judge me all you want. Judge me all you want. I don't care how adorable your King Spaniel puppy is. Alan, the puppy. No, thank you. Not for me. I will tell him to his adorable little face. I will look at pictures of him and be like, that's an adorable puppy. But no, not for this fox boy. Kittens, if I never see a kitten in person again, I'll die happy. I had one traumatic kitten experience in my life, and that is enough for me. Thank you very much. But yeah, pets and pet care, especially when sick, a whole different level. I feel bad. One of my friends had a surgery and she was like recovering from her surgery, but she had to like take her dog out. But her dog was like, it was raining. Her dog didn't want to go out. And she's telling you like, how does she had to like go through the pain to get her reluctant potato dog down a staircase to like pee outside. I'm just like, man, that's rough. Oh yeah. I learned after living with cats for 7 years that I am in fact allergic to cats. And that is why I felt like shit for 7 years. Haha. Haha. Sob. That was a rough one. I like cats. I like adult cats. I really do like adult cats. I hate litter boxes and I'm allergic to them. So no cats in my life. Sorry, all my close friends who love cats. If my friends have cats, I can only visit their homes for like 2 to 4 hours before it really starts hitting me and it really hits me in the face. 2 huskies. Good luck with that one. Although in the cold, they're fine. Dear Lord, it's a lot. I had one for the husky once. I've heard stories, never for me. So whenever I think about like dating, I think about the moment of dating where if you ever find someone you like and you commit to them, usually the next step is to move in with somebody. And I think about that step. I'm just like, no, I like where I live. It can only fit one person. I don't want to move. And this will only work out. I take it back. The only situation is if I start dating like an heiress who already owns like a 5-bedroom home and is like exceedingly wealthy. I will move in with a girlfriend who financially supports me and already owns a cool ass giant house. I'll do that. I'll make that sacrifice. But otherwise, no, I don't want to move. So I'm like, that's a sign to not date. And so I have no plans on dating. I just have plans of enhancing my existing friendships and moving forward. And to that end, I took a big step, a big risky ass step recently, where I have a Dungeons and Dragons group. We're playing Dungeons and Dragons. There's 4 of us in Dungeons and Dragons group. We're currently playing Curse of Strahd. I'm a player in the campaign. I'm playing a warlock, and one of them I've been playing D&D with for 8 years now. I did the math on Tuesday, and I was a little yesterday. I jump scared myself with that aspect, but we're nearing the end of our campaign, and as part of that, we ask ourselves the important question: do we want to add more people into our Dungeons and Dragons group? Eating, walking, leaving. I work from home, so I'm actually the ideal pet order, but I just don't want to. So when you add stuff, I asked the question, do I want to add anybody to the Dungeons and Dragons group? And the problem is, I had 2 to 3 people in mind, and to add his Dungeons and Dragons group, but they were from a different friend group. And I'm not sure if anyone else has done this, but the moment where you have friend group A, I can draw. I have an iPad. What am I doing with my life? Friend group A, and friend group B, and you love both. And here's you. Oh, here's you. You love both friend groups not equally, maybe not equally, but they're different, right? Like who you are to friend group A is sometimes and often different from who you are to friend group B. Not like putting on a facade or like fundamentally changing your personality, but more like Group A may be like anime and cosplay, right? And Group B might be like video games, for example, hypothetically in this case, definitely hypothetically. And you might be like, this is my weeb group, and this is my normie group. Again, hypothetical, where they do things like they go to baseball games and do mountain biking. And then this group does like cosplay and knitting and watching VTuber streams. There's the risk. There's the risk of like, do you want to try to merge these groups in any way? Because you're like, I like people in B. I like people in A. But the pure hypothetical of mixing these 2 groups is there's benefits, but it is terrifying. Because what if they don't like each other? What if they don't like each other? And by the act of them realizing they don't like each other, they both realize they don't like you, and you reject you, and you have a deep fear of rejection, and that comes to the forefront as you're trying to go to sleep and you're worrying about it. Like, hypothetically. So, my Dungeons and Dragon group is Group B here, my normie friends. And I call them my normie friends. They don't know they don't watch anime. They try their best. Oh yeah, see, exactly. You have 2 different groups. But Group B, we're asking like, do we want to add anybody to our Dungeons and Dragons group? And I had 2 people over here, 2 to 3 people over here in Group A. And I'm like, do I do it? Do I break this barrier and try to like invite someone in this A group over here to like this B group? So I thought about it. I surveyed everyone in B. I had a conversation with the person in Group A, and I'm just like, the problem is like most people in this Group A like Dungeons and Dragons, but do they like Dungeons and Dragons, and do they role play tabletop games in the same way as my other group and a group? That's key. Because I've had some like other groups, like random group C over here, where I've done like online groups, and they just role play this fundamentally differently. So will they want to play Dungeons and Dragons? Answer is usually yes. And do they want to play in the style that we play over here? So I talked to one friend. I'm like, would you be interested in this? Just floating that. Say you can say no. I said, you can say no. Well, the problem is like, my fear is like, I find someone in Group A, I invite them, they say yes, they join, and it doesn't work out. That's the fear. But I invited one person. She said yes. She joined the Discord server. It's like a separate Discord server, right? And like, I'm not sure. There's a stereotype I've seen of One problem is this group B. It used to be a mix. It used to be a mix of different genders, but I admit that maybe I broke up with somebody who was in that group and they aren't as active in that Dungeons and Dragons group anymore as a result. That's on me. That's on me. That one's on me. This server is all guys. Now, I'm not sure if anyone here has this experience with straight male friends, but you end up with channel names that out of context or even with context might be a bit crude, might be an inside joke, might be a nonsensical string of words. For example, you could have a channel name that is Van Life Crisis or Survival Games, No Crank Shacking, or A Scarcity of Eggs. And you just don't ask what those means. You don't ask what those things mean anymore. It's lost the sands of time and you don't want to describe that context to new people. So I invited one lady friend over, invited her over to the group, introduced her. Things are going well. Things are going great. She's going to join the table. It's going to be fine. One of my friends in group B, he messages me. He's like, Sanish, how do I delicately ask this? What are the odds that you and the person you invited, this woman you just invited in, start dating and having a relationship? He's asking this because that might have been an issue before. And I'm just like, I appreciate you asking me. What are the odds that I start dating my friend who I just invited in? But I'm like, but I assure you that, well, A, yes, I like her a lot. Yes, I think she's pretty. No, there is absolutely no chance we ever date. Yes, I did just say, no, man, I'm not gonna date this friend. But the fact that the way he was delicately asking, he wasn't doing it from a place of judgment. I know him as deeply as a person. He was just asking more like, is this a risk for our Dungeons and Dragons group? Because his concern is that we start a campaign, we're chugging along, we're a year into a campaign, I break up with somebody who we're playing with, they leave the group, and the campaign dynamics are thrown out of whack for the rest of the campaign. That was his angle. And I'm like, reasonable, my friend. That is a reasonable concern to have. Because I'm a very handsome individual, and people just fall in love with me all the time. It's understandable. So I invited one friend over. Easy. Back in Group A. Group A is there's a subset, but it's like a 100-person Discord server. So Group A, we have a tabletop channel. I was asking for feedback of like, I'm thinking of running this new campaign. Here's a system I'm thinking of moving away from 5th edition to a Powered by the Apocalypse system, for example, because I think that fits our vibe a lot more than the Dungeons and Dragons one. A second friend DMs me. She DMs me and she's like, is there any space in your campaign? And I'm just like, what do I do? Because she was my second choice. She was my second choice for inviting into this campaign. And I'm just like, if you had messaged this like 2 weeks ago, I wouldn't have to have this problem. This not problem, but this dilemma of one, I think she'd be really fun to be in the campaign. But B, adding 2 new people to a campaign is a dynamic shift, is a big shift in dynamics. When you go from 3 players to 5, it's a shift. It's a shift in like everything. So this week we had our D&D session for the first time in 4 weeks because one of my friends was overworked and he's like, I am on fire at work. I cannot possibly play Dungeons and Dragons. And we're like, understandable. So we had our first campaign and I'm just like, on voice chat, I'm just like, okay, everybody, I have a second person interested in joining. What do you all think? Now, me, I'm very sensitive to group dynamics, mixing friend groups and everything. Because I'm an introvert. I have social anxiety. I worry about these things. I forget the 3 chucklehead jokesters I have in this B server. These friends, they're all extroverts. They're all normies. All of them were just like, yeah, man, the more the merrier. Let's do this. It's going to be great. I'm here worrying about group dynamics. And their response was like, absolutely, add more people. I'm just like, why did I worry about this? Was I a fool for worrying about this? So I surveyed everyone. Everyone was like, yes. I'm like, okay, we're going to add a 5th person in. So now I've added now 2 new people to the server. And I'm like, God help me. I hope this works out. Because if it doesn't, everyone's adults and it's fine. But I worry about these things. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but I worry about these things. Because it's balancing the groups. And like, I need that balance. Because we're going from, in my current campaign, one of my friends is the DM. And there's 3 of us. One of my friends is a very creative individual. He is so creative and wacky and brings a lot of fun to campaigns, but he needs character balance in the other players. And I am that character balance in the current campaign. But for the subsequent one where I'm the dungeon master, I'm like, to the 2 people I invited, I'm just like, please let at least one of you provide some sort of reasonable balance to this. Otherwise, I'm going to be running 5 hucksters coming through, just derailing everything, having a blast, having a fun, but anything I prepared is going to be moot 2 minutes into the session, where it's like, oh, I had this whole thing set up, and they're like, let's go talk to this NPC for 2 hours who you made up 3 sessions ago, and we remember, but you don't. Time to make a backstory on the fly. And I'm like, that's Zarzapants. You remember Zarzapants, everybody? He had a bad British accent I now have to maintain for 2 hours. I love them all. Most of the time. Until I'm the DM, in which case then I try to kill them off sometimes because they just but it's a lot of fun. That's good. But that's going to start in like March, and I'll probably talk about it on stream as I develop it further, because I love talking about it. I think that's a sign. If you're a GM and you don't love talking about the campaign you're planning, you're doing something probably wrong. You should really love to talk about the campaign you're about to run, because you should be excited for it. Your players should be excited for it. You should hope that the group dynamics work out and they don't all decide they actually hate you. My deep concern. High deep concern. That's the only thing on my list here. I've been talking 2 hours. Well. I was going to these, and I'm like, oh, I only have like an hour of content to talk about. Then I'll be done. And I'm like, 2 hours 15, and I'm like, well. Look who's been chatting for 2 hours. What else on this list? That's about it on the list. I'm about to have a week off of work. We are entering this is the US Thanksgiving week, because Thanksgiving is our. Oh, I know. That's great. Thanksgiving, traditionally, we have most corporate places give Thursday and Friday off of work. So I have Thursday and Friday off next week. And with my canceled Japan trip, I have an excess of vacation days. So I'm taking all of next week off of work. So with 3 days of PTO, I'm getting 9 days off work. I'm excited. I'm already on vacation. This is the kickoff of my 9 days off work vacation. But I set goals for myself. Let's just like this here. Write my goals down. I have goals for the week. What gets me is I have a lot of Canadian coworkers, and sometimes they jump scare me with like, oh, it's Thanksgiving. And you're like, oh, what? I'm like, oh, it's Canadian Thanksgiving. It's October 1st. And you're just like, cool. Thanks for that Canada Day, July 1st. Come on, man. I'm only bitter about Canada Day because I got stuck in Canada Day traffic once really bad in Vancouver, and I'll be bitter forever for it. My goals for this upcoming week are pretty simple. I want to finish my 2.0 assets. That's my goal. So by the end of this week, I'm writing this down to hold myself accountable to myself. I want to finish my new overlay. I want to. Oh, these are vacation goals. Vacation goals. New overlay. I want to make a new schedule template. My handwriting doesn't tell where I'm secretly a doctor with my bad handwriting. Schedule template, and then a intro outro screens, which is After Effects. Essentially learning After Effects, the software. These are my goals. These are my goals for the week. I'm writing them down. Because I want to do them. I want to finish them so that when I get my 2.0 model done, which could be any day now, I can have a 2.0 model debut that same week, and I don't have to like feel pressure to finish these things out because I want a new overlay. I'm tired of this overlay. I'm sorry, little retro future overlay. I made you from a place of love and a place of passion and consideration, but you've overstayed your welcome, and I'm ready to move on. And so my new overlay, which I have most of the overlays done. It's these two I need to like really crank out. I need to bake some cookies. I need to put some vinyl records on, and I need to learn After Effects and build up my schedule template. And I say learn After Effects. I'm doing basic ass keyframe animation. I've already learned what I need to learn to do some keyframe animation. I'm not that worried about it. It's just getting used to the UI. Always the case, right? And that way, hopefully, I can have my 2.0 model stream soon, and I can move on to a new model, new me, or I don't, and I'll have to wait until December. Oh man, 3D art was like, there's a brief moment I considered that as a career. I did 3 years of 3D art in high school. And I really liked it. I really liked my 3D art classes. I'm just not good at it because I never practiced. Surprise, surprise. Then I look at how the workload and job security of 3D artists in my industry, video game industry, not great at times. But it's super cool. I'm working from home for now. We have a return to office mandate that's creeping up. It's creeping up on me. When it happens, I'll just quit my job and stream full time and make $10 a month. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. There's some fun parts to it, but it's not what you call high job. Not what you call high job security. You're like, oh, I 3D modeled another bush, and you're like. Luckily, there's a lot of opportunities out there for 3D art these days. Like making 3D VTuber models. That'll be my 2026 would be getting a VR model made. Just kidding. I'm not going to make a VR model. Yeah, the product 3D design for a company. No, that's good. That's working for a company. I have friends who do 3D design work, but they're independent contractors, so they just do client work. And whenever I hear about any of my friends who don't work direct for their company, but they have clients they have to work for, either independently or as part of their they have contracts as their job, just sounds miserable. It just sounds so miserable. But I'm a big work for a big company and not have to worry about finding leads and finding clients. Which also, on the flip side of it, it's why I love platforms like VGen, where I, as the consumer, don't have to find artists on the hellscape that is Twitter, and can instead have a centralized platform to find artists to commission for work. Because the idea of this is I've had the idea, talked about with friends, the idea of making a consulting company for our particular niche in the video game industry. And like the idea of what we could offer to like small game studios as a service, I think is a great idea. I think we could actually provide value at a reasonable price in our own company to small video game companies, to even like small product first companies. However, that teensy tiny little part of finding clients and leads, shoot me in the face. No, thank you. That's the stalling part. That's the stalling part. You have to go like GDC and like actually network and socialize and like, or do TED Talks and post Medium articles. I don't even know how to do that anymore. I'm too burned out to do that. It's like I could help these small companies in my niche, but I'm not. If someone out there wants to be the face of the company and let me do the technical work, fantastic. But chasing down leads and clients and dealing with bad clients, firing a client, not the sort of conflict I want in my life. That's why I'm a streamer. Notoriously drama-free streaming. Never has there been any drama or issues for streamers. Just avoid Twitter and online spaces and you're fine. Haha. Haha. All right. I'm trying to start wrapping things up for this stream because it's almost 2 hours. I've been chatting for a while. And I think that's the right list here. Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, let's take my list here. I have a notepad on my desk to write down ideas for things to talk about in a stream. But then I immediately take this and I tuck it under my CPU, like halfway to keep it out of sight. But then it's out of mind and I never make notes until the day before. And so we're going to continue that tradition because it seems to have worked today. So wrapping things up, my next stream is... I went from not attending to being on the wait list to I'm going to a karaoke event tomorrow night. So there's going to be 0 streams tomorrow, despite my like, I want to play more Anno. I really want to play more Anno, but I'm like, no, Sanish, you're going to wait until your next stream, Sunday morning, 10 a.m. Pacific time. $15 UTC, $16 UTC, something like that. Who knows? Sunday morning, I'll have an Anno stream at 10 a.m. Pacific time. I don't know what state me or my voice will be in after going to a karaoke event Saturday night. We will see together, won't we? And then I'll get a schedule out at some point for my week off of work. Woo! Not working. I should probably also make Thanksgiving plans, I guess, and solidify those. Meh. Not my favorite holiday. Don't really care. Don't care. Didn't ask. Sorry, Thanksgiving. Your food's terrible. Nobody actually likes turkey. But thank you for the days off work. Because now we're in the point of the work season where no more work is expected to be done until January. Because now it's like Thanksgiving break, and then, we're in December now, and people are going on vacation for the Christmas holidays, and then it's Christmas, and people are off work for the Christmas holidays, and all of a sudden it's January, like, we're doing Q4 planning for this week, so we can't possibly do any work now. People are coming back from holidays, and so the next time I actually legitimately need to do hard work, it's going to be January 14th. We are done for the year, wrapping it up. I work so little and I get paid so much, but I hate my job. Which could be the topic of a future stream, a day in the life of work from home Sanish. What does it look like? What does he do? How does he get paid? The mysteries that I don't have answers for and my boss for sure doesn't know. But I'm amused by, in retrospect, in the time I'm often very frustrated, but stepping back from it, I'm mildly amused. Tips for surviving the corporate hellscape we call modern society. How to accrue soft power in a tech company. A TED Talk by Sanish. But that's what we're going to wrap things up now. I'm going to say this, and I'm not going to follow through. I'm going to read this book on drawing chibi models, and I'm going to apply it. And then next stream, I'm actually going to draw. I say that now, and I'm going to make that promise, and I'm going to promise you that I will break that promise and do none of that. But I tried. Well, I didn't. I said I was going to try. And that counts, right? Right. It's like half, that 80% of the way there. Haha. Drop my pen. Dock that Apple Pencil. Apple Pencil. No. I'm pretty sure it counts. Pretty sure it counts. I said it counts on stream, and no streamer ever lies about anything. That's never once happened or exaggerated. Let me close and start closing these windows now. Close that window. I had to open up Edge for the stream to not dox myself. It felt wrong. Felt wrong and dirty. Close that. Thank you, everyone, for joining me on this fine Friday night or Saturday morning or wherever. Saturday evening. Time zones, man. Messed up. I enjoy my chatting streams. I mean, it seems reductive to say, of course I enjoy my chatting streams. That's why I do them, right? Like, and thank you, Bonnie VR, for joining and chatting with me, and everyone else who piped in at different points through the stream today on Twitch and YouTube. As always, I'm your elder, ancient, decrepit, turning to dust, Foxboy VTuber Sanish. And I will be back on Sunday morning for Anno. And hope everyone has a lovely weekend, a lovely holiday break if you have one. And I will see everybody the next time I stream. Good night, everybody. That's the wrong stream. That's what I want.